Sarah Karen, you've heard of my philosophy, right?
No.
Stupid things have good outcomes all the time.
Well, that's the crazy thing. One day you're in school for what feels like a lifetime. The next you're in Columbia signing up to go back in 7 months and live there. My name's Andrew. I'm 22 years old, and this is my story. I love the show Outer Banks. It manages to tell this amazing story of adventure, romance, danger, and friendship, and in a lot of ways sums up what I want my life to look like. I've always loved to travel and go on adventures and make memories, and the older I get, the more I appreciate the memories I have. I grew up traveling a lot. When I was 8, we moved to South Korea. For the first time, I had left the country. We lived in Busan, South Korea for 2 years. In that time, we went to the Philippines. I went on my first 1-week mission trip, and that was a really cool experience. I got to see a whole different part of the world from Korea, which was definitely a culture shock, somewhere I'd never experienced, very tropical. When I was 12, we moved to Kathmandu, Nepal, and ended up living there for 5 years. And if you know where Kathmandu, Nepal is, props to you, because many people don't. I got to do some amazing things when I lived in Nepal. I rode an elephant. I saw the Himalayan mountains. I survived a 7.9 magnitude earthquake. That was something. And I just grew up there. That's always going to be a part of my life, living in Nepal. Lived there for a long time and made a lot of memories, and that's a huge part of who I am today. We got to go to Thailand when we were in Nepal because it's cheaper to fly to Thailand than fly back to the US, because it was so expensive to fly 5 people back to America back and forth. In my 5 years living over there, we only got to go home and visit family once because it's just a lot. We moved back to America when I was 17 after living in Nepal for 5 years. And I've been back in the US for 6 years now, which is crazy. I was 17 when we got back to America. I am now 22, almost 23. It was a culture shock for sure, moving back to America. Things were very different, and there's so many things we take for granted here in the US. We were in for another shock because soon after we got back, COVID-19 shut down the world.
As a number of coronavirus
COVID-19 was a huge shock for many reasons. It affected the world in many different ways and shut down the world for a while. It was different. It was weird. Everyone adapted and handled the situation in their own way. We were about to fly back and visit Nepal when, out of nowhere, all the airports, everything got canceled. Our flights got canceled. We had to get our money back. We never ended up going back, sadly. And then life began. I started high school, played football, and finished my senior year at a public high school here in Tennessee. And then I moved off to college and started my college career at Bethel University. And made a couple videos there, made a lot of friends, made a lot of memories there. It was a great school. There's definitely its ups and downs to it, but I don't regret it, and I'm grateful for what I learned through that experience. I am now done with school. I have some online classes, but Bethel taught me a lot and changed me as a person. In my time at Bethel, I got a chance to go on several trips. I went to Guatemala with the Global Studies program, and that trip really just made me realize I wanted to travel full time. I loved it. We had an amazing team go. I had some friends. Guatemala was just beautiful. It was one of my favorite places I've been, one of the most beautiful places I've been. It's not every day you get to see volcanoes. And later on that year, I went to Honduras, and that was a whole different type of trip. We were in a village outside of the city, up a mountain, isolated in the middle of nowhere. Got some crazy stories from there. I almost got lost running up the mountain in the pouring rain. Last year, I didn't go with my school, but I went on my first solo trip to Puerto Rico. That was a really cool experience. Got to cut down a coconut tree in the jungle. Just really cool. There's rainforest everywhere. Beautiful country. Super tropical. I love Puerto Rico. Want to go back someday. And recently, just 2 weeks ago, I went to Colombia for the first time, and it was amazing. Colombia is truly a beautiful country. It reminded me a lot of Nepal in a lot of ways. Just the culture and the development of the country in that sense. But it's also very different. They are a very rich culture, very colorful, very tropical. And I'm going back very soon.
Down to the riptide, making a way to the dark side. I wanna be your left and leg.